we're eating that's causing the reaction. So there's primary causes and secondary causes, but once we figure out what food we're eating that causes the problem, then we can eliminate that food. When we eliminate that food, that stops our body from making these antibodies. It's going to stop our body from attacking itself. How do we identify what the protein is that's causing the problem? That's the big thing. So there's a blood test that we can do. We can go to the doctor and we can order a blood test to find out what we're allergic to. We can do a muscle test, which is it's a form of testing the body to find out what your body is sensitive to. And so if we check your body and we find a muscle that's strong, and we're eating food that we're holding on to something that's good for us, we'll test the muscle, it'll be strong, and then we hold on to something that's not good for us, we put it in our mouth, and we would test the muscle, our body's going to become weak to that. We can try an elimination diet, where we eliminate certain foods out, and we'll see that our body will respond. So, for example, let's say that we think that we're sensitive to dairy, we stop eating dairy for a week, we see how our body responds to that, and then we add that food back in and see how our body responds again. Elimination diets work really well. The trick is you have to eliminate all the problems in order to see a change. So we'll definitely, this is an easy one to try. Sometimes with the example of like gluten or wheat, you may have to eliminate the problem for months before you're going to get all of it out of the body and allow that reaction to change. Some things like dairy, we can eliminate those for a week to 2 weeks. If we add it back in, we'll notice a big difference right away. There's different machines on the market now. Technology is advancing very rapidly. They have something called Galvanic skin resistance testing. And what these machines are, you'll put your hand on a machine and it will send electricity through the body or some type of a signal through the body, which is what they call galvanic skin resistance. It's put an electrical current in your body, and it was able to test the different frequencies of the different nutrients. And so if you're allergic to gluten, gluten has a certain energy pattern. They'll test that pattern against your body, and your body will say either likes it or doesn't like it. Just like if you put a magnet together, a magnet, the two like ends will repel each other, but if you put a plus next to a negative, it will attract. When you put a signal into the body that the body doesn't like, it will reject that out. And so if you're allergic to something, when the galvanic machine is testing it, it'll be able to test some of these food allergies. So if you've heard of people that are doing these different tests, I think biofeedback is one of the tests, and there's different little hand probes that a lot of different nutrition companies are selling to test for food allergies. You want to stop eating the protein that's causing the problem, and then there's some supplements that we can add that will change how our body is able to break down the protein. So a probiotic, anybody heard of probiotics? Okay, so a probiotic is the good bacteria that's supposed to be in your body. When we look back here to this digestive tract, probiotics line these little villi, the different parts of the intestine, and they make these openings smaller so that the food can't get in there. The big proteins can't get in there. The probiotics are good bacteria that are supposed to help break down these proteins. So they actually break down the protein so that the whole protein's not moving in. As we break down the protein, it's smaller. It's something that's usable. That's something that we can use as a building block. So the other thing probiotics do is they signal to the nervous system that things are well. Instead of making an antibody or a war cell, you should make a regulatory cell or a peace cell. And these regulatory cells, they down-regulate the inflammatory response, they down-regulate the antibody response. It's kind of like waving the white flag and saying, we surrender, you don't need to attack. The body will stop attacking itself. And so if we're having an autoimmune response where our body is attacking itself, if we add probiotics into the mix and our body starts making more of these regulatory cells, we can stop attacking ourselves and it can make a big difference. Omega-3, we already talked about that. A lot of us are taking this. Omega-3 is another anti-inflammatory fat. And so when we have omega-3 in our body stops making inflammation and it brings that level down. Our nerves are made out of omega-3, so it allows our nerves to function the way that they're supposed to. So instead of misfiring or miscommunicating, the nerves can function the way that they're supposed to. And then digestive enzymes. Anybody heard of digestive enzymes? Yep, so a digestive enzyme, a lot of digestive enzymes are contained in the food that we eat. So, for example, we take this apple, the apple that was grown has digestive enzymes in the apple, has enzymes in the apple that are necessary for breaking this food down. When we eat a fruit or a vegetable, a lot of the enzymes that are necessary for breaking that fruit or vegetable down are contained within the fruit or vegetable. But if we eat something artificial like a piece of white bread that's been cooked, there's no enzymes left in that to help break that down. And so there's different kinds of enzymes in the body that the body will make enzymes in the stomach, in the liver, in the pancreas, in the saliva to help break down the food. And if we're not making enough enzymes, or if we've taken medication or been exposed to toxins that interfere with these enzymes, so a lot of pollution breaks down the enzymes then don't break down the protein, and the protein moves through the body. So you can take enzymes to help break down carbohydrates. You can take enzymes to help break down fat. You can take enzymes to help break down protein. You'll be able to check those out. So if we do we need supplements of any kind? The slide is saying if you eat a strictly organic diet, so you don't have any pesticides or any chemicals on your food, then you wouldn't need that. Or if you live in the bubble, you don't breathe any of the toxins that are outside. Unfortunately, there's a lot of pollution in our society today, so a lot of our enzymes and a lot of our food is being contaminated. So what supplements do we need? We kind of talked about that. Probiotics. They're the good bacteria that's supposed to be in our body. This is a picture of how the probiotics line the digestive system and prevent proteins from being absorbed that aren't supposed to be being absorbed. There's hundreds of trillions of probiotics in our different bacteria in our body. They all work together to help prevent diseases and prevent problems. This is the digestive enzyme. So the pancreas is one of the huge digestive enzyme producers in the body. If we eat and we're getting pain after we eat, that tells us that our body is not potentially breaking down the food the way that it's supposed to. If it's like 20 minutes later, that's when the pancreas is supposed to be releasing things. So depending on how long after we eat we're developing pain, tells us which enzyme is potentially not working to break down the food. If it's immediately, obviously it's going to be stomach. If it's 20 minutes later as the food's moving through, now we're looking at more of the pancreas. If it's an hour later, we're looking at different organs. So depending on how long after we eat we're developing pain in our digestive tract, that's going to tell us potentially which digestive enzymes are not working correctly. Minerals. Unfortunately, we know that our soil is being depleted of minerals. Like we said, the carrot today has less nutrients than the carrot 20 years ago. We do massive farming. We've just sucked all the nutrients out of the soil. So a lot of times a multi-mineral is an important thing to add into the body. Antioxidants, which are minerals and vitamins and minerals from our body, helps to neutralize or break down some of these different chemicals that we're being absorbed to. So we've heard of antioxidants. Everybody's heard of an antioxidant. The pesticides or the chemicals that we're breathing in, those are oxidants or free radicals that damage the body. An antioxidant, fruits and vegetables, vitamins, minerals, attach to the oxidants and neutralize them. So omega-3s, we talked about that. Our brain is made out of omega-3. Our nerves are made out of omega-3. Our body, all our cells are made out of fats. We just need those to be healthy. This is the new chart. We can see at the bottom is nutrients, what we eat. Water is important. Oxygen is important. Exercise and nerve flow is important to make sure the nerves are being healthy. So as chiropractors, we can help you identify what the source of the food problem is, and we can work on making sure that we have a proper nerve supply to all the organs. This is a picture of the brain and the spinal cord. The middle part of the back sends a signal out to the stomach, and so if you have a problem with the middle part of your back, those are the nerves that are going out to the stomach, the nerves that are going down to the digestive organs. that's not working properly, the organs are not going to digest the food correctly, and we're not going to be able to use the nutrients the correct way. So make sure you get your spine checked if you're having any kind of a digestive issue. So we've always heard this: you are what you eat.